What is up, you guys? It's Nat. Welcome to my video. Today we are building a house. I don't really have a name for it, but I did build it in Brindleton Bay. It is kind of a Cape Cod style house. It's right on the bay. It has a really gorgeous out the back, a really gorgeous view out the back of the house. I will have a picture of that view in the screenshots for you at the end of this video, but hey, hi, how are all of you doing? I hope you're all having a great day. When you guys are seeing this, it is Friday. I'm currently recording this the Thursday before, so not super duper in advance, but oh my goodness, guys. I don't know if I'm gonna talk about this on Twitter or not, but it's not really gonna matter because after when you guys are seeing this, it will already be done. But in about 2 hours, I have a very, very important follow-up interview for a possible full-time job. I think I've mentioned to you all before. I mentioned it in my last video, I think, actually. YouTube is not my full-time career at all by any means. It's just a hobby that I do. That's why I don't upload every day. And I'm a graphic designer for work. I call it my full-time work. Right now, I'm not technically working full-time. Ever since I graduated, I've been doing a string of contracts for larger corporations. At first, I had to freelance for myself, but finally, like this year, I started getting contracts. I've worked for some big, great companies that I loved. Very much so enjoyed my time with them. But, you know, it can get a little nerve-wracking when you don't know how much your next paycheck will necessarily be. Like, not working on a salary base, or at least not working consistently, I guess. Like, knowing that, like, you know, if you work, like, a part-time job at a grocery store, you get your schedule ahead of time, but, like, you know, unless if you take sick time, I will be working, let's say, a minimum of 25 hours this week. I don't really have that right now, and it's not the worst thing in the world because I do like having a flexible schedule. Plus, I mostly work out of my house. Sometimes I go to the locations based on where I'm working, but I currently work on my house right now. But it can be a little bit scary, especially just in this economy right now when you just don't know how much your next paycheck will necessarily be. So this position that I am going for is going to have a salary. And so I'm very, I want it so bad, you guys. And the fact that they want a follow-up interview is like really good news to me. I heard that they really enjoyed our time talking, and I was pretty confident in our first interview. So I'm just hoping that today it goes well, and hopefully they will offer me the position. I don't know if I would start working before or after the holidays, but guys, with everything going on in my life right now, I can't be very open about it because it's just some private family stuff. But some of my friends out there do know. My family who watch, they do know. Things just are going right now. Things are pretty crazy in life right now. So it'd be nice to just have that one stable thing in my life, is to know that I have a very stable salary-based position. And it would just help me out so much. So, keep your fingers crossed for me. I don't know if I would have heard from it by the time this video is posted. Like I said, the interview is today, which would be yesterday for you guys. Tomorrow for me when this is getting posted. So, you know, but anyways, by the way, just gonna let you guys know, I am not watching the playback, but I just built this house, so it's very fresh in my mind. But I'm not watching the playback just because this is a 15-minute voiceover, which isn't bad. I'm very proud of myself for keeping the speed build under 2 hours, which translates into about a 15-minute build or so for you guys once I speed it all up and I edit it and stuff like that. But computer's running a little bit slow, really working on getting that PC ready. I'm still trying to like pick all the parts and stuff like that and just make sure that I'm building a PC that's gonna be very reliable for me. Like I said, because, you know, not gonna just need it for gaming, and YouTube gonna need it for work too, so I need a very powerful and very trustworthy machine. I'm still working on my old MacBook, so it's not the most reliable piece of equipment right now. So right now I'm just watching the levels on my vocals and just making sure that, you know, they don't start glitching like 5 minutes in and then I talk for the next 10 minutes and my voice isn't being recorded. So doing that right now, but I really enjoyed this build, you guys, and honestly, I think that this build showed that I was really in the zone. I wasn't distracted. I mean, I was distracted. There were a couple pauses, and I'm trying to catch them, but I just tried to render my video, and for some reason, it was giving me an error message. It's not having an easy time, so it makes it very difficult for me to view the playback without it lagging a lot, so I'm going to try to catch all the pauses and the saves that I can. I already pulled out 1 or 2 towards the end. If they're still in there, though, I do apologize, but again, it's a shorter video, so that's, you know, that's a good thing. I know that some people do enjoy longer videos, but honestly, I just want to touch on a point that I know lots of YouTubers have touched on before, is the point that not many people have the time of day to watch a, 25-30 minute video. not everyone has that time or wants to dedicate that amount of time to watching a YouTube video. So sometimes if you have that 25-minute, 30-minute mark on there, people, they avoid clicking on the video. And that's not, you know, good for us YouTubers. It's not good for our numbers and stuff like that. So that's why we try to keep everything relatively short. I know yesterday, like my video, it was 4 minutes. And I know the views aren't doing that great. And it's probably, well, one, with the algorithm, I know that my videos are not reaching subscription boxes, which is kind of disappointing. But two, while some people do enjoy the room builds, not everybody does. Most people want to see like a fully fleshed out build, which I totally understand because I don't watch many room builds myself. I do every now and then. I really like the builds from Sims. I love her room builds. And I know at one point, I think they were actually a part of her weekly schedule, and I think she toned it down and stopped because she felt like she was releasing too many. But like, you know, at least most of my audience, they just want a fully fleshed out build. They don't necessarily want to watch me just build one room. What I like about the room builds is that I can execute things that I wouldn't necessarily do in a full house build, because I can go in there and like the video is purposely to take the time to like design something that I wouldn't necessarily do in a speed build. Like in a speed build, that's the point of it, is to get done fast, just to show people what you are doing. Like people like that kind of thing, but they don't necessarily want 10 minutes of the video dedicated to your kitchen, you know, or like whatever, or like the painter studio that I did that I really enjoyed. Don't know what kind of build I would put that in. That's another thing, is like, you know, you have these rooms where it's like, I don't necessarily know where I would put this in a build. And then when you're doing speed builds and you're putting them up on the gallery, you want it to be like a house that's going to be good for everybody to play. It's like, you know, something that's going to be very playable. And I don't know, like, I mean, you could have, okay, for instance, I've thought about my not so berry house. Like, I did the whole thing, I put up on the gallery, but I am considering building a like basement laboratory, because that was recommended to me on the last part of the Not So Berry challenge I released. Someone said, oh, you know, why don't you build an underground laboratory? And I was like, oh, I've kind of thought about doing that, so maybe I will. Well, if I upload that to the gallery and like, you know, 50, 100 people download it, not all of them are going to be using it for a Not So Berry challenge, and even so, not all of them are going to want like a mad scientist laboratory in their basement, you know? So I hope I'm making myself clear, but that's why I like room builds, is that they allow more freedom, because that's the purpose of them. Whereas in speed builds, it's just, you know, make something not generic, but like playable for everyone, playable for everybody, and get it done quickly. So that's why I like today's video, because I think that the house came out good, outside and in. It just looks like a really small Cape Codder on the coast, you know, like it doesn't have a big back porch or anything. It has a big front porch, not a very big back porch, but it does have a really pretty view. It is on probably the smallest lot in Brindleton Bay. I don't know if it is, I might be wrong, so don't quote me on that, but I think it's definitely one of the smallest ones. So it's just a very small house. I was going to release to you guys actually a very large modern coastal build instead that was going to be in Windenburg, but I talked about it already in one of my other videos. It may have been Not So Berry, it may have been the room build, but I was having lots of issues with it. The first night that I started building it, it wasn't recording, so and that's my own fault. That's like my computer's fault. That's my own fault. I wasn't recording it, so that was great. And then I started building it, but then I didn't go in there with a plan. I usually like to have a floor plan. Like, okay, that doesn't make a lot of sense, because like, especially if you watch my last townhouse build, which some of you like really liked, which I don't understand because I hated it, and I don't want to upload content that I hate, so I'm going to try to avoid doing that. The only reason I uploaded it was because I needed something out, but frankly, on that day, I could have released that greenhouse I released this week. I'm glad that I didn't, because then I had it for this week when I had all these problems with this modern build. But I don't know. I don't want to release content that I'm not proud of, that I'm not going to stand behind. And obviously everyone is their own worst critic, and you're always going to criticize your own work regardless of what it is, whether it's a Sims 4 speed build, whether you're a painter and you're painting something, or you're a sculptor and you're sculpting something, you know, you're always going to be criticizing yourself. So I know that there's never going to be like a day where I'm like 100% confident and proud in everything that I'm uploading, but that house I was very unhappy with for a multitude of reasons. Outside looked gorgeous, inside I hated, and I hated how long it took me to build it. And that's something that I always talk about, and that's why I'm really proud of this one, because I feel like it just looks good. There might be a couple things that could use some changing on the inside, like, you know, maybe the living room could use a little bit of a sprucing up. And then that upstairs loft area, which I don't know if you guys are seeing it yet, but I did build an upstairs loft, and that's more of like a study slash just kind of like a hangout room. There is a bathroom up there. Yes, I know there's no bathroom on the base floor. I am so sorry. I started building and I kind of realized, oh, I forgot that. That's kind of important. And I was gonna add a bump out and just throw it in there, but I just opted not to, just to save time, because like I said, I have this interview coming up and I just want to be prepared for it. So I just threw one upstairs. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, if you want a bathroom, you can add it. I mean, this house is really, it is just a box. I try not to build houses that just look like boxes because I'm afraid that they look boring. But this one, it was just meant to be a very quick, simple Brindleton Bay Cape Cod house. And I hope that's not the name that I go with because that's very long and it's a mouthful. But, you know, Cape Cod houses, like really small ones, okay, I don't know, you guys can Google it. I live in Massachusetts. I'm not far from the Cape, so I know what I'm talking about. I know what Cape Cod architecture looks like, and especially like in the neighborhoods surrounding me, like I'm gonna be driving through one later today, they have lots of like smaller, just Cape Cod homes with like the little upstairs loft, but that's it. It literally just looks like kind of like a little box house. And I always imagine like, oh, like an old like grandma and grandpa couple like living there, and they have the grandkids over sometimes. And so that's kind of what I did here. And I was thinking the loft space could kind of be like a, not necessarily a play area, because obviously I didn't include any children's toys, but there's like a chess table upstairs. They do have a computer. I almost didn't put a TV in. And I think in one of my last builds, I did not put in a TV. Nobody said anything, but I didn't put a TV in because, like, for some reason, the last couple times I've been building, I've been, like, picturing an old grandma and grandpa couple living, maybe not having a television. And that's just so, I don't know, weird. I don't know why I've been thinking like that lately. Like, I think I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I swear to goodness, I'm like an 80-year-old trapped in a 23-year-old's body. I'm always like aching and I'm always like complaining, but I'm always very nurturing as well, I feel like. So I don't know, I just feel like I'm a crotchety old grandpa stuck in this 23-year-old body, and yeah. Not that I'm excited to get old, because honestly, like, everyone tells me like getting old is hard, getting old sucks, and no one wants to let go of their youth, but I just love the idea of me being like an 80-year-old guy sitting on an electric scooter, or maybe this is like 60 years in the future, so maybe by then we'll have like hover scooters. And I've always wanted one that's gonna be purple, it's gonna have flames on the side, it's gonna be hella tripped out. And I want some fuzzy dice somewhere. Oh my goodness. See, I've got this like all planned out, and like, just watch, I'm not even gonna make it to 80 or something, but oh goodness, you know, isn't it just great to think about sometimes? I feel like I'm the only like 20-year-old who thinks about getting old. But anyways, guys, we're gonna jump into screenshots very soon. I know the video's coming to an end, so if you liked this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, although that might be changing soon. I mostly play Sims 4 content, but that also might be changing, so stay tuned. Make sure you follow me on my social medias. Wish me luck, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.